So one of the biggest things that I hear a lot of Liverpool fans and rival fans and content creators and social media personalities and the main media talk about is Liverpool and their new players and the amount of money that they spend. How does all of this fit into the grand scheme of things in trying to retain the Premier League and win the Champions League? Which is quite fine. And who are the players that are going to be playing in this game and how are they going to be playing? And it's not a hard question to answer, but it's kind of a little bit difficult to answer, if you get what I'm saying. So one of the biggest things that Arne Slot has spoken about is trying to find the balance in his team. One of the most important things that you can have as a team is balance. You can have the creative players, you can have the great goal scorers, but if you don't have balance, then it's going to be hard to get the system to be flowing as best as possible. And the thing is, I thought for maybe like a game, 2 games into the league, into the season, is that the balance is slowly getting there. And funnily enough, it's been really because of one player and one player only. If you know, let me know in the comments before I even say it. 3, 2, 1. Dominic Szoboszlai. That is it. That is really the person that helps to balance the team right now. He unlocks most, if not everything, as to how Liverpool plays at this present moment. And the best thing that Liverpool can do, because again, it's over 60 odd games, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's over 60 games that you're going to play. So persons are going to get their opportunities. But the balance has to be good. Everyone has to play their best game and express themselves within the construct or the system itself as to how Arne Slot wants them to play. Which, again, is kind of difficult to assess because we don't necessarily know who are the players that he wants to start. So let's get it out of the way. You're not going to have 120 odd mil on your bench in Alexander Isak. And you're not going to have that for Florian Wirtz. They're going to start. Let's put that out there. But the balance to get the best out of them is the most important thing. And I think balance, that word balance, makes for the question to ask, what exactly is Liverpool's best 11? And the simple answer is, there isn't a best 11. That's the truth. Because as the saying goes, style makes fights. And every fight that Liverpool, or game that Liverpool will face, stylistically, they are able to adapt to that. So if it's a game of the long ball, like in the Newcastle game, like in the Arsenal game, they have players who are tall, but also technically brilliant to match that. Like Ekitike, like Isak, like Gakpo, like Gravenberch, of course, and Szoboszlai. They have the size to match that. If they want athleticism, they have the athleticism to match that. They have Dominic Szoboszlai. They have Isak. They have Mohamed Salah. They have the Gravenberch. They even have the Curtis Jones. You get what I'm saying? So each game that requires a kind of fight or style of fight or game, Liverpool are able to adapt. And that is a scary, scary thing. Because if you are Manchester United or Chelsea thinking that, okay, this is exactly how Liverpool may play, and particularly so because, again, the philosophy or the style or the system shows that there are patterns that is being done that you're able to negate. But you don't necessarily know who the players are that you need to stop. Because if you're Reece James and you think that you're going to face Cody Gakpo or face Ekitike, you're like, okay, I know how to set. But what if you're facing a Ria Ungumoa, who is very witty, who is very skilled, who is very quick with his feet, able to dribble pass very quickly, get into space? That's my point. So, and then in the middle of the park, you don't know if it's a McAllister that might start. You don't know if it's a Curtis Jones, who is technically brilliant, who is press resistant, or you don't know if it's a Dominic Szoboszlai, or where Dominic Szoboszlai will play, because right now he's Liverpool's best left back, or right back. Right back. But he brings balance. And Arne Slot is trying and kind of has found that balance. Now, the funny thing is, you can't drop Dominic Szoboszlai because he provides that balance. You can't. Sorry. Just not just being athletic or athletically brilliant, not just in terms of his press, but how he moves, how he addresses spaces, how he eats up ground, even as a right back, how he defends, kind of make it undroppable, right? So it makes it even more difficult for Frimpong and Bradley to even know, get a chance to start. But of course, he can play in the middle of the park, i.e., that is Dominic Soboslai. But the balance is important. And with the adaptability of Arne Slot, it's kind of like when a chameleon is in his habitat, and when there is a predator around or there's something that the chameleon doesn't like, he immediately changes color and adapts to the surrounding. So it makes it hard. His camouflage is tier one. And I think that's how Arne Slot wants to play. I think he wants to be adaptable. He wants to play fluent, brilliant, forward thinking, attractive football, which is absolutely good. But he also wants his team to have balance. And I won't stop say that because it's true. Liverpool's way or style of play this season with all the attacking talent around that is to strike the balance between defending well, strike the balance between setting in a mid block, and also when to attack. Because you don't want either to overshadow the other. If you get what I'm saying, let me know in the comments if you do. And one of the things that he found, particularly in the first game, is that persons were trying to get the third ball, trying to go and attack more and more. And I think that is quite fine. There are games that you're going to do that and it works well. But there are games, as we found out last season, that you're just going to have to maybe play just a little bit more pragmatic and boring with all the attacking talent needed. You're going to need persons if a game requires you to be more technically brilliant because the other team is in a mid to low block and you want to dissect and penetrate the defense. You need persons who are able to sit within the pocket of space like Ekitike, like Florian Wirtz, that are able to shoot the gap, run into channels, pick the lock, or pick the pocket, so to speak. You're going to need players of that technical brilliance, and Liverpool do have that. And then there are going to be games like the Arsenal game and the Manchester City game that you're going to be more athletic and technically good, more physically imposing on the team that you're playing. Because again, athleticism plus technical brilliance makes you a world-class player. Consistently, of course. And I think that is how Arne Slot is trying to get this team to play, with striking the right balance with all the attacking talent that you have. Now, what does this mean for Ekitike? I don't know. I don't know. And persons who think that he's just going to drop him like a bad habit, you make a sad mistake. Because if we're talking ball to feet, technical brilliance, Ekitike is a much better technical player than Alexander Isak, and you're going to need him. Now, how do you use both? That is another question and video entirely. But what I will say is that it does free up space for Kirkes to constantly be bombing up and down that pitch on the left side, because it gives more access to how Kirkes wants to play. So because Ekitike likes to drop in that left half space and Florian Wirtz likes to operate mainly between that left half space, but also the center of it around the 18, and Isak likes to roam at the left side, it kind of know, does it give predictability? We don't know. Does that mean that Mohamed Salah drifts more centrally and allows the right back to overlap? That stretches, so now you have maybe at least 6 or 5 players across that last 18-yard line? Maybe. We don't know. But guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you know exactly what Arne Slot best 11 is? You can let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And guys, it's football season. Until next time, peace.